Welcome to Podcast, the Business of Dentistry Podcast, brought to you by Practice Plan. Podcast delivers the best business advice, real-life stories, and practical hints and tips to make your practice a more profitable and sustainable business. And now, here's your host.
Hi, I'm Donna from Practice Plan. Welcome to our latest podcast. And today I'm joined by a really interesting speaker for you, Rohan Verma, who's an online coach in the health and wellness sector, aka Dr. RV Fitness. Welcome, Rohan. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Donna. Thank you very much for having me. Really excited to be here.
So, Rohan, if I can pass over to you and say, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you've got into doing what you're doing.
Absolutely. Well, firstly, thank you very much for having me on this podcast today, Donna. I really appreciate it. I know we caught up not too long ago, actually at the Practice Plan weekend, which, by the way, if you haven't been on it, you need to get on it. So fun and such a nice environment. But myself, I'm a practicing dentist, but actually, well, I would say initially I used to introduce myself as a dentist and online coach. In the recent years, things have changed for me. So now my main forte, my main job is, in the online space where I help doctors, dentists, and lawyers, and any busy working professionals, mums and dads, look after themselves. That's my main thing now. I've been qualified for over a decade, qualified from Bristol University, and I always had a passion for fitness. And I realized when I left university, my balance was pretty much just work heavy, like most probably these listeners today, like thinking about practices, associates, expanding their empire. I fell into the trap of just dentistry. And I realized there was something missing, hence why I kind of pursued fitness. And it all started off as a passion project, like a side thing. And then over the years, I'm sure we can talk about it in a bit more depth and detail, but I realized my passion is fitness and I wanted to keep it up. And there's a big need for our profession to start looking after ourselves.
Absolutely.
So that's how I've stumbled into it in a short way, in a simplified version. But it's become something which is incredible, getting to help, professionals across the world actually look after themselves.
Amazing. So I've got to ask you, Rohan, do you prefer doing what you're doing now to being a dentist?
To all my patients listening, let me say no, I have to say, I'll be really honest. I feel like this is my calling.
It's your passion. Yeah.
I've always loved clinical dentistry, and there's something so unique about helping people and getting them out of pain and having that instant impact of seeing their smile change, they're feeling amazing. But this is so powerful because when you can see somebody who is struggling to juggle life or has felt so uncomfortable for 10, 15, 20 years with their weight or how their energy is or how their mood is or how it impacts everything like their day-to-day life, when you can actually have a hand and a support system and you can actually help people do that, it's a feeling I can't really explain or describe, to be honest.
It's life-changing, isn't it, what you do to help people? And, all jokes aside, we don't say that lightly because, dentistry is a really tough profession. And not only, just for the dentist, I think for everybody in the team. And like you say, wider business, wider industries as well. But, it is a really tough time in dentistry. And I think as practice owners, particularly, you take such a lot of burden of the practice on your own shoulders. And even as associates around you, the need to earn a certain amount of money and see more patients and work harder and harder all the time really can have a really negative impact on your physical and your mental well-being. So can you tell me a little bit more about what you do to help your clients? What sort of the process you do with them?
You kind of nailed it on the head. Like clients come to me from probably two different perspectives. Either one, the proverbial muck has hit the fan. Yeah, because they feel they're burnt out, they're tired, they're exhausted, and they're struggling, or they're anticipating that they might have had, like, for example, a consultation with their GP and they've had some bloods and they found out, they're pre-diabetic, they're pre-hypertensive. So how I help my clients, I wouldn't actually put myself as a typical online coach as far as fitness is concerned, because, when a lot of you are probably listening, you're probably thinking, he's going to send me a meal plan and a training program. That is pretty much the most basic of basics, unfortunately, when it comes to wellness. You can chat GPT that. What I try and do is a deeper fix. And I think we spoke about this on the weekends on it. It's more looking for a balance within your lifestyle. It's looking at habit formation. It's looking at creating a sense of routine and structure within your individual life. So, for example, Donna, I know we were speaking to Lisa a minute ago, different people, everyone's got a different life that they need to lead, whether it be slightly more work heavy, slightly more family heavy, slightly more social heavy, but it's helping you navigate that.
Yeah.
So what we do is we do look at nutrition. We do look at, yes, forms of exercise, resistance training, cardiovascular movement, but we also look at sleep patterns, hydration, stress management, routine and structure in your days. All of these things have an impact. So, it's interesting. And I think it's starting to happen. I think there's a bit of a ripple effect. I think we're seeing our industry open its eyes a bit. How you feel will affect how you perform as a clinician.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So not even just, for example, just feeling like, for example, leaner and healthier, but also like mental clarity. If you're not feeling so tired and lethargic, well, I've noticed some of my clients have had improvements in their financial turnover simply because they're productive.
Yeah.
Or they feel happier, so they're putting more time into their work in a positive impact. And then as a result, they find that they're getting much better uptakes of treatment. So I think, in a long-about way, to answer your question, it's habit formation, it's creating lifestyles, and the cherry on the cake is the accountability.
Yeah.
I'm their accountability to help them. We all talk about Monday, I must get back on this, or I need to stop buying so much processed stuff, or eat less junk, etc., or go do that walk, or whatever it may be. The hardest thing is balancing it.
It is. Yeah.
Which I don't think there's such a word, because it will be different for everybody, and at times you have to be unbalanced to get the balance that you want. But I just help people navigate that.
Good. And I think you're right. I think there's so much awareness now of mental health and the impact that can have on everything in your life, really. But I think that combination of the physical well-being, the mental well-being, like you say, it's not just about you feeling better in yourself or looking better or whatever goals you might want to achieve. It's that knock-on impact for your family around you, your friends around you, your workplace, your colleagues, actually coming into work and thinking, I really enjoy the job I do. Because particularly with dentists, you sign up to be a dentist because you've got a love for that and a passion for that. And it's so soul destroying when you see, dentists lose that and they think, I want to give up the practice, or I want to stop practicing because I've just lost the love for it. And often when you sort of dig a bit deeper, there's usually things like you're talking about lying underneath the surface that, like you say, if we could just help you fix that, actually, you might find that passion again and regain the love for dentistry.
Absolutely.
So that's great.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people, unfortunately, they pigeonhole themselves into being just a dentist, and that's what I hated. And I said that will be something I wanted to change for our profession. You don't have to be just a dentist. You can be the dentist who goes to yoga, who does Pilates, who goes for a walk, who has a passion in food and health. It might, whatever your goals are or your passions are, you can have more to yourself than just your practice or just your patient list. And I think helping people find that balance of the certain things that they're looking for, whether it be family time, exercise, dentistry, business, whatever it may be, there is a sweet spot for us all. It's just finding that.
Absolutely. Totally agree. So have you got any hints or tips you'd like to share with us, Rohan, today that you've not covered already?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's so much we could start from, but I would say the most basic I would really start from the top from is starting with what I've been doing whilst on the call is water. Like it's a bloody warm day, excuse my language, but it's a really warm day. And I guarantee you, most dentists right now, if you're either on the way home listening to this podcast or wherever you are, you probably have drunk no more than a glass today. And like hydration, it rolls into so many things: your energy, your mood, your hunger. We all know that in the dental staff room is the worst place for
we know that one. There's always cakes and chocolates.
Exactly. And most of the time we're dehydrated because we've literally just been between patient to patient to patient, or admin task to admin task. So one thing I would say to anyone, whether you're front of house, whether you're a nurse, a dentist, whatever your role is in the dental practice, please do me a favor, drink more water. An easy little calculation to figure out how much you need is if you take your weight in kilos per 25 kilos of your body weight. So let's say you're a 75 kilo male, that will be a kilo per 25 liters, a liter per 25 kilos. So that's 3 liters for a 75 kilo individual. And you're probably thinking, geez, that is a lot.
That's a lot more than I'm drinking. I know that.
A lot of my clients who come to me, they will have maybe a cup of coffee or two, and a cup of water at night. And it's like,
Yeah.
I'm not surprised you're knackered. I'm not surprised you're
It's not
hungry
enough.
and tired. It's we are running on. It's like running your car on empty and expecting it to perform at 90% optimal engine function. It's hard.
Yeah.
So water would be definitely one. Two, sleep. Again, an obvious one, but again, it's something which we don't really look at enough. Try and get 6 to 7 hours. And I know there's going to be a lot of mums and dads who are rolling their eyes at me saying, yeah, good luck with that, Ro.
Yeah.
Try.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say aim for perfection. Just aim for your best. And one thing I will say, which will help you, is like a consistent bedtime. Because your body has a really interesting like body clock. That circadian rhythm is a thing. Like it affects your hunger, it affects your mood, it affects your energy levels. So if you can try and go at the similar time up to bed, half an hour before you want to knock out, that will help you kind of wind down. And do me a favor, put this down.
Keep off the phones.
Get off the phone for just half an hour, read a book, chat to your missus or your husband, whatever it may be. Have a little bit of a time where you're not starting to stress yourself out with tomorrow's admin and tomorrow's whatever things you need to do. Because if you're thinking about that patient or that email that you need to write, I guarantee you'll be mulling it over trying to sleep.
Yeah, be waking you up early in the morning, still thinking
100%.
about it, I'm sure.
I've definitely sat there thinking about the extraction I need to do the next day, thinking and nudging the missus, going, I have no idea how the hell I'm going to get this out tomorrow. So been there, done that. Don't do my mistakes.
Yeah.
So that's water, that's sleep. I think the next thing I would try and do is, without complicating nutrition too much, try and get fruit and veg in at least 2 meals a day. It's the most easy thing we can do. And try and eat some protein. There are calculations out there, but again, I would just say for anyone who's just starting and considering I want to get a little bit healthier, I want to get a bit more balance in my diet, I eat a lot more Deliveroos or a lot more, on the go things that I need. Try and look at a meal and think, all right, is there some protein element to it? And is it what it's meant to be? What I mean by that is whole food. A potato is a potato. When you look at it, it looks like a potato. When you see something like a pizza, well, you wouldn't necessarily pull a pizza out the ground. So if you can try and say 80% of your diet is coming from things which are like fruit, fresh fruit and veg, whole carbohydrates like rice grains, potatoes, your lean proteins. It's a nice way to start just shaping your diet with more nutrients, and you'll actually feel quite a significant impact of how good food can actually make you feel full and actually really quite, energized.
Yeah, definitely. So what advice would you give to someone thinking of contacting you that might be thinking, I don't know if it's for me, or maybe they're nervous or a bit shy or whatever it might be? I mean, you must get this all the time. I've been wanting to contact you for ages and wasn't sure where to start. What advice would you give?
I would say just follow my page. I think the first thing you should do is follow somebody, because the beauty about social media is you get to, especially if the people are using social media the way they should do, you get to understand who the person is. Like, for example, for myself, the way I talk on my social media is pretty much, hopefully Donna will agree, it's the same with also how I am in person. Like how I coach is what you see is what you get. I'm honest. I have a pretty what's the right word here? No frills approach to it. I'm pretty, what you see is what you get. I'm not going to try and lie to you. And in essence, I'll show you the reality of what getting healthier looks like. Because I'll be honest with you, it is challenging. It is hard. It will take some discipline. It will require you to look at things differently. Like I appreciate everyone who's on this call has some of their own individual circumstances, whether it be children, toddlers, work, long days, late shifts, financial struggles. There's going to be elements which you're going to find difficult for yourself, and everyone will have to adapt to that. But you just kind of need to go and accept there are realities. And if I embrace those challenges, such as being more tired, being a bit more hungry at times when I'm trying to get fitter and lose some weight, it will help you kind of understand the process a lot more. So definitely drop me a follow and ask questions. I love answering questions. I mean, it's not a page where if you ask a question, I'm going to ask you and say you have to pay me first. That doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
I think the best dental pages I've ever followed have been the ones where if I've ever messaged the clinician, if you ask them nicely, they always reply back. And I would like to try and say I'm similar in that of the coaching side of things. So you can follow me on Instagram. It's at Dr_RV Fitness. And just ask me anything. If it's about dentistry, health, mindset, organization, training. Always happy to help. I even actually have a free resource for anybody who's even just interested in to know what it looks like.
Mhm.
Actually got a free 4-week coaching program, which is something you can do in your own time. It uses all the tools and strategies I use day to day with my one-to-one clients, but it's something you can kind of take and do on your own time. So it's at least you don't have any commitment to it.
Brilliant. Thanks, Rohan. I mean, what you do sounds absolutely really needed in the industry, but just fantastic, and a great holistic way of looking at the challenges that lots of professionals face. So thank you so much for joining us today. It's been really great. Thank you.
No, thank you for having me, and hopefully we'll be back soon.
Yeah.